Hi everybody, this is Hirsch. Welcome to Talkhotrods.com. Today we're back at our title sponsors shop in Harmony, Pennsylvania. That's Hahn and Woodward, Automotive Restorations and Creations. I added that. Doesn't that sound good?
Thank you.
Restorations
I like
and Creations, because that's what you are. Today with me, Bill Hahn, Paul Vorbach, Wes Woodward, and thanks. Welcome back from Amelia Island. Tell us about that.
Thanks, Hirsch. It was a good trip. It was a fun trip. We took two cars down there. One was the HRG. It went to Goodings for auction. That was sad, you know, seeing it go.
Well, that was years and years of...
Yeah, it was a lot of years working on that car. Everyone had a lot invested in it. Guys here at the shop were sad to see it go. You know?
It was exciting watching it on the internet.
Wasn't
that cool? Here at my house in Moon Township, it must have been amazing live.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like, what's the process? You're in line. I know you were lot number 57 or 58.
Well, before that is the preview days. You know?
So the potential buyers come and look at all the cars.
Yeah, yeah. And when we first got there, we saw the cars sitting outside of a tent, and we were like, "What the heck? They couldn't even put it inside a tent, you know?" As it turned out, there was only about 5 cars that were outside of the tent, and it turned out to be a great spot. Because as the sun came out and moved across the sky, the sun just beamed down on the car, and it looked great. You know, you walked up to it and it just lit up with the bright sun there.
I bet.
Whereas, you know, you wouldn't have gotten that inside the tent.
After that process, is that the day of the auction or
that's
before?
The day before the auction.
So auction morning.
There's a couple hours in the morning when there's preview time before the auction actually starts.
Okay.
And
then cars are put in line and they're slowly brought. Was that a tent or a building?
It's a tent. It's a big quite a production that they put on.
Oh,
I mean, they go to the Amelia Island plantation. It's a resort, and basically take the joint over for a couple of days. They lay all kinds of carpeting and everything, erect the various tents that they display the cars in, and then they have a large tent for the auction. What they have on the day of the auction, they have a very nice breakfast where they invite all the bidders as well as the consignees to come, and it's you know, very nicely done, you know, beautiful stuff, and there's plenty of food and drink to go around to make sure that everybody bids freely, shall we say. But quite a deal. They basically just sort of start the auction. They give you an announcement that it's about to begin. The people kind of herd into the tent, and then they start. You know, they have their people, their handlers come and get the cars and bring them in.
Was really there a reserve on this?
Yes, there was.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and they kind of don't.
And no one knows that. Correct.
No, they don't publish the reserve.
Okay.
No. And theoretically, the reserve is supposed to kind of protect the seller from, you know, having to let go of the car for a price well below its, you know,
my God, yeah,
it's reasonable.
To be that, yeah.
But so that's what we did, and
watching it on TV was so cool because I felt a personal connection. It's like, I've touched that car. Wait a minute. And I wasn't supposed to tell you guys I touched the car, but. To have that personal connection and to see how excited the two guys, the British gentleman from Gooding, obviously, and the other commentator, were really excited about the car. They commented on how good it sounded when it drove away, how good it looked coming up.
Yeah,
how excited.
They gave the car a really nice introduction. Yeah. Said how popular it was, and so many people were gathered around it all day.
It was one of one.
Yeah, and we spent all of the Thursday, the day before. We were there the whole day. I mean, just talking to people. Their preview starts, I think, around 9 o'clock in the morning, and it quits at 6 o'clock at night. And we were there all day long and just talking to numerous people. Several people had interest in the car, and so as Bill was saying, it was one of the cars that garnered a lot of walk-up interest.
A real benefit for a potential buyer to talk to the guys that finished, that did the project.
Oh, yeah. And most of the cars, that's not the case with most of the cars.
I wouldn't think so.
There were a couple other cars where the owners or the builder were nearby with the car, but just a few.
Where is the car going? Is it going to be in the U.S.?
It'll be in Florida.
It'll be in Florida.
At this point, yeah, the new owner is in Florida.
How is Bob Affleck and his wife doing after? What a weekend it must have been.
Yeah, we haven't spoken to Sylvia, but yeah, Bob, he said it was like a roller coaster for him.
Head to toe. It's a family member.
Oh yeah,
he had the car before he was married.
Wow, great story. The story, the complete story, is in Hemming's sports car.
Yeah,
what issue is that? Is that March?
January and February.
January, February. Okay, very cool story about you guys and about the car too. Am I right? You displayed a 300 SL, the Roadster, which I have pictures. Go to the gallery on my website and take a look at that. Tell me about the background, the reasoning behind that.
Well, here again, it's another car that we did a full ground-up restoration on, and the owner of the car, Dr. Clark, he would like to sell the car, and so we're helping him do that. We've got the car advertised. We're helping with producing the advertising, getting it out, and getting it before the public. And when we talked to Bob Affleck about him wanting to go to Amelia Island and consign his car to Gooding, we said, well, we'll be going down. If we're going to make the trip, why don't we make it truly worthwhile? Let's take the 300 down there, because we have not had the opportunity to show that car before the public, with the exception of the Vintage Grand Prix here last year where some folks got to see it. But in general, on a grander scale, we couldn't. So this was an opportunity for us to get down there, show the car to the folks at Gooding in case we do end up consigning, and also to show it to some other potential buyers. And we managed to get ourselves invited to a thing called Cars and Coffee at Amelia Island at the location of the Concours the day before the Concours actually occurs. So it's on the same show field.
Wow.
But, it's just DuPont Registry and some other folks sponsor it. And we got invited to take the car to it. And that, all in all, it proved to be a very, very good and beneficial thing, because the car looked great in the sun. It looked nice. Lots of attention, lots of interest. And I think it just ended up being the right thing to do.
Yeah, what a weekend, huh?
Yeah, it was very busy.
Spring is almost here. What, tomorrow, Bill? Day after that?
It's the snow.
You're the weatherman. Oh, jeez. Wes, it's Thursday, right?
Wes will know.
Wes knows. Because he's a golfer. He knows when the first day of spring is.
Yeah, but that doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
That's true, that's true. What is in the works? I took some pictures. Things are getting exciting with the Ferrari, 2 gull wings downstairs.
Yeah, we are very busy. Wes, you can tell them a little bit about the what's going on with the MG and the Morgan that are both up at the paint shop right now. I know you're heavily working on those.
Yeah, well, the MG or the Morgan, we got that into polyester fill primer the other day, and the MG, most of the body work's done on it. I got a few final details to address on it, and we'll get that into fill primer also, and hopefully within the next month or so we'll get some paint on them and start putting them back together.
And all we need is some springtime to be able to open the doors and feel the sunshine. And
yeah, it would be wonderful.
We need
get some real light on these cars.
Yeah.
We need some springtime to do some test driving on the 300 SL.
And the Ferrari.
I'm available for that. I'm officially a test driver for Mercedes.
Are you?
I was years ago.
How about Ferrari?
I'm not still. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, them too?
Oh,
okay.
Enzo.
And
they used to call me Baby Enzo.
We're like this, right?
Baby Enzo.
Years ago, they called me that.
We're like this. Yeah, you and Enzo were tight.
We were tight. The shop downstairs. In future webcasts, folks, we're going to show more of instead of the lounge lunchroom. We're actually going to get down where the real
there is a shop.
There
are people that actually work.
Folks ought to know where we actually are. We are upstairs of the shop, and this is you're probably looking into the kitchen area, but this is actually our library. We have a fairly extensive automotive library here of research documents and a lot of books. Design work is done here as well. Yeah, so and meetings and everything else, and obviously video podcasting, video cast.
Well, Wes and Paul and Bill, thank you so much. Title sponsors of the Builders series. With your help, we're taking it to new levels. And thanks again for all your help and support.
Appreciate it.
As always, be careful in the hot rod.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Hirsch.